Good morning, good morning. I want to start just with a thank you for joining us this morning to honor and to remember the lives lost on September 11th, 2001. I'd ask for those who are able, if you would please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem.
Ready, think, detail, halt. Freeze it. Oh.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Oh. Right. Hey. Forward. Mark.
Please be seated. We are gathered here at the 9/11 Liberty Memorial Fountain to honor the lives of those who died in the terrorist attacks 24 years ago today, on Tuesday, September 11th. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the elected officials in attendance, starting with my colleagues on the Board of County Supervisors. Brentsville Supervisor Tom Gordy, Neabsco Supervisor Victor Angry, Woodbridge Supervisor Margaret Franklin, and Potomac Supervisor Andrea Bailey. I would also like to acknowledge Delegate Michelle Maldonado, Senator Danica Roan. There is Joe Tennant, Chief of Staff, with Delegate Brianna Sewell. And we have a Representative, Monica Herrera, from Congressman Subramanian's office. Every year on this day, we come together to honor and mourn those who lost their lives in one of the greatest tragedies that has touched our nation. It is a day that has forever changed communities such as ours. We lost friends, neighbors, co-workers, and family members. There are weddings and plans for the future that never happened. Adults who as children didn't grow up with a parent and whose kids will never know their grandparents. People who lost beloved aunts, uncles, cousins, best friends. And while the pain and sadness will never truly go away, we do what we can to remember them, to recall cherished memories, to tell their stories, to share photos, to name our children in remembrance of them. We also honor and remember the first responders who went above and beyond, risking their own lives to help out that day and in the days, weeks, months that followed. They're all heroes, and we owe them our gratitude. Today, we pause to pay homage to our loved ones, friends, and neighbors who made the ultimate sacrifice 24 years ago. In 2006, Prince William County dedicated the Liberty Memorial Fountain so that they will be remembered forever. The shape of the reflecting pool and walkway recall the 184 lost at the Pentagon. The single stone to the left of that plaque is an original limestone block from the collapsed portion of the Pentagon. The two columns of water represent the 2,749 lost at the World Trade Center in New York City. The stone that encircles the fountain is Pennsylvania flagstone, a tribute to the 40 lives lost in Pennsylvania. The flagpole standing at the Liberty Memorial is the one that James T. Lynch Jr., who was killed during the attack at the Pentagon, erected at his home in Prince William County. Etched in the sides of the reflecting pool are the names of those who we remember today. Sergeant First Class John J. Chada, U.S. Army, retired. Storekeeper Third Class Jamie L. Fallon, U.S. Navy. Amelia V. Fields. Lieutenant Colonel Robert J. Hymel, U.S. Air Force, retired. Sergeant Major Lacey B. Ivory, U.S. Army. Judith L. Jones. David W. Laychak. James T. Lynch Jr. Jean E. Maloy. Robert J. Maxwell. Molly L. McKenzie. Craig J. Miller. Diana B. Padro. Rhonda S. Rasmussen. Edward B. Rowenhorst. Judy Rowlett. Donald D. Simmons. Jeff L. Simpson. Cheryle D. Sincock. Chief Information Systems Technician Gregg H. Smallwood, U.S. Navy. Sergeant Major Larry L. Strickland, U.S. Army. And Sandra L. White. They shall never be forgotten, and I hope that their families know that our nation will always stand beside them. Long before phones and radios, fire departments used the telegraph to communicate. Red fire alarm boxes on street corners around the country had handles pulled to alert the fire station of an emergency. When a firefighter died in the line of duty, a fire alarm office would tap out a special signal. That signal was 5 measured dashes, then a pause, then 5 measured dashes, then another pause, and then 5 more dashes. This became known as the tolling of the bell and was broadcast all over telegraph fire alarm circuits. The signal was a sign of honor and respect for all the firefighters who had made the ultimate sacrifice, and it has become a time-honored tradition. Thank you, Lieutenant Halliwell, for tolling the bell. And now it is my honor to introduce our next speaker. Detective Darren, or Dr. Kupka, is a graduate of Police County Schools and George Mason University. He started his career in October of 1995 with the Arlington County Police Department, where he served in patrol as an officer, field training officer, and crime scene technician. There, he also served in the Special Operations Division with the TAC unit, as well as in the Criminal Investigations Division in the Burglary Unit and Violent Crimes Unit as a Master Police Officer. In November 2011, he began a short stint with the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. In July of 2012, Detective Koopa began his career with the Prince William County Police Department, currently serving in patrol and currently with the Criminal Investigations Bureau, Violent Crime Units, attaining the rank of Master Detective. He is proud and pleased, as are we, to serve Prince William County and the community in which he has such strong personal ties. At this time, I would like to invite you up, Detective, to share your account of September 11th, when you were serving as an officer with the Arlington County Police Department and one of the first to respond to the Pentagon that day. Please.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair Jefferson, and all of you for having me here today. This will be the first time I've ever publicly shared my experiences surrounding September 11th, 2001. As said, in September of 2001, I was serving as an officer in the Street Crimes Unit with the Arlington County Police Department. My take-home vehicle was a Nissan Frontier pickup truck. I'd been with the force for 6 years. That's where I met my wife, who was also serving at the time. I'll never forget the evening of September the 10th, 2001. With my wife, being able to spend time with her. It was miraculous that we were both off duty at the same time. Life was good. It was normal. 2 dogs lounging at our feet, watching her favorite TV show, and catching up. A night I probably wouldn't remember. I'll never forget the next day, September 11th, 2001, and the days following. It started with me hearing on WTOP News about a plane strike to the World Trade Center as I drove into court that morning, suspicious of the likelihood of an accident. I'll never forget driving under Columbia Pike on Washington Boulevard, hearing jet engines roaring overhead, thinking to myself, there's no way they got 2. Oblivious that a second plane had already struck the Twin Towers. I'll never forget turning on my police radio, hearing the emergency tones in the radio traffic, a plane into the Pentagon, turning onto Route 50, looking south to the giant plume of smoke. I ran into the courthouse, told them I wouldn't be available, and they asked why. I just pointed out the window. I ran to my locker, put on a pair of BDUs, a t-shirt, a ball cap, learned that I didn't have boots, so I borrowed a pair from one of my friend's lockers, unbeknownst to him. I ran up to the roll call room where no one knew what to say or what to do. 5 or 6 officers came with me. We jumped in my truck and we drove mostly off-road to the crash site. I called on the way, woke my girlfriend, now wife, told her what had happened, where I was going, to expect to be called back into work herself, and that I loved her. Just before self-service was overloaded. I will never forget the chaos, the fear, and the anger, the smells, the cries, trying to shepherd victims from the Pentagon to a triage point on Washington Boulevard. I will never forget the announcement that another plane was headed our way. The order to evacuate the area with 20-plus anxious minutes, all eyes skyward, leery of every plane flying overhead. The announcement that that plane had crashed out of state. I will never forget having a motor escort around Arlington and Alexandria, loading that same truck with body bags because we didn't have enough or even know how many we were going to need. I will never forget, as evening came, standing in the flowing water and jet fuel, looking down a dark corridor into the Pentagon. Every so often calling out, "If you can hear me, come to the sound of my voice," while shining a light into that darkness, hoping no one had been left behind. I will never forget during the early morning of the 12th, sitting with two friends on the bed of that pickup truck, acting as scene security in front of the crash site, exhausted. In the Red Cross, watching the firefighters battle the incredible blaze. And the Red Cross pulled up. A hot cup of coffee, a granola bar, Snickers bar, and a pair of clean, fresh socks. Those socks felt amazing until put back into these soaking, disintegrating boots. As my friend mentioned the shape of the boots were in, disintegrating from fuel and chemicals, I apologized, I chuckled a little bit, and I told him they were his. I will never forget the moment our flag was draped over the side of the Pentagon. A renewed sense of spirit and pride rushed through me, as well as the crowd of first responders and military personnel still working. I have recited our pledge thousands of times, but never had I felt such a sense of allegiance and a quest for justice for all. I will never forget driving to work in the days and weeks following, seeing our flag draped along highways, overpasses, buildings, being waved by people surrounding the crash site. Our one nation, under God, indivisible at the time. The solidarity of America tattered, but never torn. The outpouring of support for the first responders, our military and our government, from the residents, small businesses, companies, and corporations at the Pentagon, and actually all of the attack sites, at police and fire stations, as well as military bases across this country. Posters, cards, letters, drawings, snacks, treats, homemade food. It meant so much to all of us that were serving at the time. I will never forget evidence and remains recovery. The dedication all of us had to locate anything and everything for the victims' families and linking the terrorists to these horrific crimes. Piles and piles of rubble, plane parts, luggage, office supplies, documents, furniture, personal effects, and of course remains. All delivered from the attack site, all hand sorted through over weeks. This was a duty, an honor, carried out with dignity and respect by all. It was also one of the most difficult mental and physical things any of us had done or will ever do. I will never forget, weeks later, watching a documentary about the 9/11 attacks, learning of a group of sixth graders on a field trip aboard Flight 77. I was previously unaware. And finally releasing the pent-up emotion as truth overcame the lies we told ourselves during the recovery efforts. Thankfully, the person I spent the night of September 10th with was there that night and to this very day. I will never forget the bravery of the passengers of Flight 93 who fought back and sacrificed themselves, saving countless lives. There were a lot of heroes on 9/11. Many lost that day, many still around us, many of whom were unseen. The mental and physical effects of the attacks continue far beyond that fateful day, not only for the families, friends, and loved ones of those who were lost immediately, First responders, residents in the areas, workers and volunteers exposed to the toxins, dust, and debris at each of the crash sites are suffering and dying from what are now referred to as 9/11 related disease and cancer. Unsuspecting victims, diagnosed years after the attacks. As time continues, this list of increased incidences of various cancers and disease are added to and managed by the World Trade Center Health Program. I encourage all of you who served, provided service, volunteered, or lived near the crash site to look into and apply for that program. I will never forget those I served with on 9/11 at the Pentagon, especially those who have died from or are currently battling these illnesses. While I'm here with you today, a piece of me is in Arlington today and every day, as they too hold ceremonies so that we never forget. If I haven't overstated it, I'll never forget. I ask that each of you never forget as well. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your reflections today with us, Detective, and certainly thank you for your service to Arlington, and thank you for your service to our community here in Prince William County as well. Your words are certainly powerful and remind us how powerful memory is. Like many of you, I too remember where I was on that September morning. I remember the shock, the grief, the uncertainty that fell across our nation. But I also remember what came after. The extraordinary bravery, the unity, the choice of service over self. It is in those moments that our nation revealed its true strength. That told the world that we would not be broken. Here in Prince William County, we carry those memories not as burdens, but as responsibilities. We remember nearly 3,000 innocent lives lost, including 22 members of our own community. We remember the families who still grieve. We remember the first responders who showed us what it means to live with courage and conviction. But remembrance alone is not enough. The question we face is what to do with that memory today. September 11th calls us to be people of compassion and integrity, to show up for one another and to lift each other up in times of hardship and in times of peace. That is why we gather each year, not only to remember what was taken, but to recommit ourselves to what must be given, to service, to one another, to the idea that we are stronger when we carry the weight together. Service in all its forms is how we carry forward the American spirit. It is the ultimate tribute to those that we lost. And let us remember that public service is more than a career. Whether one wears a uniform, staffs a government office, teaches in a classroom, or volunteers in the community, public service is the heart of our democracy. It is something to be proud of because it reflects the best of who we are. People willing to put others before themselves, people willing to commit to leaving their homes and making our community stronger. That is the power of public service and the incredible impact it can have on others. As we leave here today, let us carry forward not only the memory of what we lost, but the call to service that rose from it. Because when we serve, when we protect, when we comfort, when we lead with compassion, we honor those we lost in the most meaningful way. We will never forget, but even more, we will never stop serving. At this time, I will invite Officer Celine Wykowski to come forward to sing God Bless America. I would ask that everyone who is able to please stand. After the singing of God Bless America, we will hear the playing of taps, which will conclude our ceremony this morning. After taps, I encourage each of you to spend time in reflection here at the Liberty Memorial or at the World Trade Center Steel. Thank you.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.